Welcome to the Ultimate Burn, the 8-minute Tabata HIIT workout. All you'll need today is a pair of medium hand weights. We'll be doing 2 Tabata circuits, 8 rounds each, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of recovery. So grab your weights and let's begin our first Tabata circuit. First exercise is a rear delt side raise. Here's your preview. All right, we're going to do 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of recovery. Ready, and let's begin. So we're hinging from the hips, rear delt, working the back of the shoulders, and then coming up and working the medial delts. Really engage the core here and focus on the muscle. All right, 10 seconds of recovery. Next exercise is a squat upright row. Here's your preview. All right, 20 seconds on. Let's begin. So squat, touch down, hips back, and then upright row coming up about shoulder height. So doing a lot of compound movements here to work the entire body and really boost the metabolism. Core is turned on. All right, 10-second recovery. We're going back to rear delt side raise, round 3 out of 8. 20 seconds on, and let's begin. So really control the weight here. And again, focus on the muscles you are working. So working the back of the shoulder here, and then the medial delt, the middle part of the shoulder. And 10-second recovery. Moving back to the squat upright row, round 4. 20 seconds on, and let's begin. So squat upright row. Working glutes, hamstrings, quads, and shoulders. All right, 10-second recovery. Moving on to round 5, back to the rear delt, side raise. And 20 seconds on, let's begin. And really focus on good form as we move throughout these exercises. Again, core turned on, working at your own pace. Last one. All right, 10-second recovery. Moving on to round 6 out of 8, back to the squat upright row. 20 seconds on, and let's begin. Really slide those hips way back, come up, squeeze the glutes as you do the upright row. All right, nice work. 10-second recovery. Moving on to round 7 out of 8. Back to the rear delt side raise. 20 seconds on. Let's begin. Continue to focus on form, core turned on. Control the weight here. Only coming up shoulder height on this side raise. All right, recover 10 seconds. Last round, squat upright row. 20 seconds on. And let's begin. Finish strong. Almost there. All right, last one. Nice job. Go ahead and recover. Take a breath in. Exhale. All right, Tabata 1 is complete. Go ahead and grab some water, and you're going to get ready for Tabata 2. Tabata 2 is going to include a walking lunge and a squat press. So go ahead and grab your weights. And here's your preview. So we're going to do a walking lunge here, 2 forward and 2 back. All right, 20 seconds on. Let's begin. Big step here. And this can be done with weights or without. So shoulders over the hips, knee alignment over the ankle. Last two here. All right, 10-second recovery. All right, next exercise is a squat press. Here's your preview. All right, we've got 20 seconds on. Ready, and let's begin. This is round 2 here. Sliding those hips back and pressing up. Again, compound movements, really boosting the metabolism here. Last one. All right, nice job. 10-second recovery. Moving back to the walking lunges, round 3. 20 seconds on. Ready, and let's begin. Big step. 2 lunges, turn around, 2 lunges back. Really drop down into the lunge. Chest proud, shoulders back. Head alignment over the shoulders, knee alignment over the ankles. All right, 10-second recovery. And moving on to round 4, squat press. Ready, let's begin. Make this movement big, really squat down low, press up. Last one. All right, 10-second recovery. All right, moving on to round 5 of our walking lunges. We've got 20 seconds on. Let's begin. Again, big movement. Dropping down into the lunge. Last 2. All right, recover 10 seconds. All right, moving on to round 6 out of 8. Squat press, let's begin. Stay strong here. Really work through a good range of motion. All right, last one. And recover. All right, 2 more rounds. Moving back to round 7. Moving back to the walking lunges. 20 seconds on. Let's begin. Continue to focus on good form at your own pace. Big step. Last 2. All right, nice job. Recover 10 seconds. Moving to our last round and our last Tabata circuit. All right, squat press, 20 seconds on. Let's begin. Really push through, get as many reps in as you can. Finish strong. All right, and go ahead and recover. Nice job. Take a breath. Exhale. Again, breathe in, exhale. All right, your workout is complete. Don't forget to cool down and stretch.